Some AI influencers are making over $10,000 a month and they don't even exist.
Hey Mortales, welcome to Play Aitana.
I mean, babe, half of it's you, half of it's Liquid IV.
In this video, I'll share exactly how this growing industry works. I will also share real examples of real profiles that are earning thousands with AI influencers. And I will also show how you can easily create your own AI influencer. And make sure you stick around to the end because I will also reveal a simple prompt tweak that can make your own AI influencer look a lot more human and engaging. In case you don't know, my name is Mikael and I have made money online for years and tested hundreds of different methods. And today we're diving into the world of AI influencers. We'll look at how they are created, why brands are paying them so much, and we'll also go over how you can get started yourself. I'll show real examples, show exactly how they make money, and I will also walk you through how to create your own AI influencer quite easily. We'll also cover some ethical consideration that you definitely also should consider in my opinion, and also some platform rules you need to know so you can build something sustainable and ethical long term. So before we get into how you can create an AI influencer, let's quickly look at a few real world examples so you can see the scale of what is actually possible. And first up here we have Aitana Lopez, and I'm sorry if I don't pronounce some of these names correctly. I do my best, but just wanted to call that out myself. But this example, she's often called the first Spanish AI model. And she's been featured in multiple news outlets. You can, for example, see an example here where it says that she reportedly earns more than or up to 10,000 euros a month. And this comes from, for example, brand deals and modeling shoots and social media sponsorships. We'll go more into details about exactly how they make money a little bit later. And her Instagram is, for example, full of all kind of lifestyle and fitness content. And at first glance, most people would maybe not even really guess that she's a real person, but she actually does make that quite clear. You can see here, first AI influencer created. So this is a great example of an AI influencer that is doing really well. And then here we have Lil Mikea. I think it's pronounced again. I apologize if I don't pronounce it correctly. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments if I do it wrong. But what's interesting here is also that she's one of the most famous virtual influencers. You can see she has more than 2.4 million followers just on Instagram, and she has worked with huge brands like, for example, Prada and Calvin Klein. And according to some reports you can see here, there's an article that says that she earns up to $10 million per year. So that is quite impressive. And then the final example I just want to show is called Ludo Magalo, and this is an AI character from Brazil, and this is created by a retail giant magazine. And you can see she has millions of followers, and she often regularly promotes products directly. And if you, for example, check the bio here, you can see there's also a link here to a store. So this is one of the ways they use this AI influencer to actually earn. Again, we'll go over the different ways AI influencers can help you earn. And this is definitely one great example also. And these three examples, they prove one thing, and that is that AI influencers isn't just a trend, they are actually a growing business model that can generate real revenue, sometimes even thousands or even millions, as you also saw examples of, if it is done right. And there are also a lot of these smaller AI influencers now because it has become so easy to do, and even smaller audiences can potentially give great earnings. And speaking of earnings, let's go more into how these AI influencers actually earn so you can understand how you can also monetize if you decide to do this. So now that you've seen some real examples, let's now talk about how AI influencers actually can make money. And there are many different ways to do this. And this is very important to understand because there are many videos that just hype up what you can do to get an audience with AI influencers and how you can create them. But if you don't know how to actually monetize them, it's really worthless. So let's go over some different methods. So one way AI influencers earn is by doing sponsored social media posts. Just like human influencers, brands actually now also pay AI influencers to feature their products or services. And for example, Lil Michaela that we talked about earlier here, she has done paid campaigns for fashion brands like Prada and streetwear brands like Supreme, and rates for something like this that can range from a few $100s for small accounts to $10,000 or more per post for large audiences in high value niches. Next, you can also monetize with affiliate marketing, and AI influencers can, for example, promote products with trackable links, affiliate links as it's called, and then you would earn a commission on every sale or every action depending on the exact affiliate program. And personally, I think this is an overlooked method to earn from many influencers because they often just focus on getting a huge audience, but affiliate marketing can be a really great way to actually monetize it. And personally, I think affiliate marketing is one of the best methods to start an online business completely from scratch as a beginner, whether it's with your own persona or with an AI influencers, because it is just a really great business model, and it's also how I've been able to make a living online myself. And this can work basically in any niche, whether it is fashion, tech, fitness gear, whatever it is, as long, of course, if you make an AI influencer, it should fit with that influencer's persona. The third method is to use product placements in the content. So if you're, for example, making AI generated videos, you can integrate different products directly into the scenes. It can be bags, it can be drinks, gadgets, and it's something you can then do without needing a physical photo shoot. And this can, for example, be great for brands that want lifestyle content without paying for models, for photographers, or location rentals. A fourth option could be to use subscription platforms. This can be FanView, Patreon. There are many different options like this, and some AI influencers, they offer exclusive content behind a paywall. It might sound a little bit crazy, but there are actually some of them that earn a lot of money like this. And this could, for example, be by giving access to exclusive posts or special storylines, some information about the influencer, or personalized AI generated messages for fans. There are many different ways to do this. And some case studies also show creators earning thousands per month just from these subscription platforms alone. The last option I wanted to mention here is merch and digital products, because once an AI influencer gets an audience or a following, they can, for example, sell merch. It can be wallpapers, Lightroom, presets, or even NFTs of their images. It all just comes down to being creative. Of course, this works best for influencers with some kind of distinct, recognizable brand or style. You can, for example, see an example here of one of the AI influencers I showed earlier, and this magazine here that is promoted through there, or not so much a magazine, it's actually an online shop also. So that's just one example of many, and these 5 options are just to give you inspiration, but there are many different ways to monetize once you actually have a following. So now let's get to the fun part, and that is to actually create AI influencer content. And there are quite a few different tools you can use for this now. One of the very popular ones is what's called VEO3, and this is Google's latest AI video model, and it's capable of generating really realistic, high quality videos from text prompts or still images. So you can create anything from short lifestyle clips to cinematic ads, and it's fast, and it supports lip sync also, and it can even generate sound or audio alongside the video. So this is probably one of the easiest ways to get started as a beginner if you just want to start testing it out, and you can also get started completely for free with it. So you can see here, if you go to the website here, I will also leave a link to this here below, this deepmind.google there, so you can easily go there, and you can then see you can try it through Flow or through Gemini. So I will just do it through Gemini here. And you can sign up for a free account, but to get access to these small video clips there, you would need this pro account, but it does have a free trial. I believe it is for a month. It does have, of course, some limitations in general. You need to be aware that you can do 3 of these clips per day, and they can be a maximum of 8 seconds, but that can also be enough for very short clips, or you can make several and add them together, or you can just use it to get a sense to start creating some basic content, to start building, and just to test it to get a sense of whether this is for you or not. And you have a month to do that with the free trial, so that is something you can consider. But let me now then show how you would do that. So the first thing I would do would probably be to use ChatGPT. You can also use Gemini or Grok or any other AI model for that to actually help you come up with a concept idea and then to write a prompt you can use for creating the videos. And it can just be quite basic. You can also expand on it. And again, this is just to quickly show how it works. I could write something, I want to create a new TikTok page with an AI influencer in the fitness niche. And then of course you will need to adjust that. And then please write a prompt I can use to create short video clips with fitness tips and tricks with VO3. So then I would just click here and then I would get a prompt that I can use. And you can see here what it then suggests. It also says if you want multiple different videos at once, you can also add this here. And it even also asks if you want a list, for example, of 20 fitness tips and tricks. In general, just be aware when it comes to AI, of course, it's not just about copy pasting. I actually have a video where I talk more about different ways of making money with AI and specifically ChatGPT there. So I'll leave a link in the top corner if you want some more tips and tricks about that. But here, for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to spend too much time on actually adjusting it. It's just to show you what I mean, and then you can spend more time doing that. But I would then copy this one here, and then I would choose the video here, and then you need to describe it, and I just use this prompt there. And again, you just of course need to adjust it so it fits for your idea. But later in this video I will also give you some more specific tips about how to adjust this so it becomes as good content as possible. But for now I would then just click here to generate, and then I just need to wait a little bit. And that took about 2 minutes or so, and then this video is ready, so I'll just quickly play it.
All right, listen up, fitness family. Got some quick tips to supercharge your day.
And it's not the most amazing video, but it's to show you what is possible. Just see how real it looks. That's kind of the point, because then again you can adjust the prompt. As I mentioned, we'll talk about some important things you can do later to actually make it a better video, and then you get something that looks real here. And you can see the whole setting, everything looks like a person, and it took a couple of minutes to create. And then you can use editing tools, for example, like CapCut or Premiere Pro or whatever. There are also many free tools like that to, for example, add captions or to add background music or brand elements if it's a sponsored video. And then you can make a finished video like that. And VO3 or Gemini is just one way to do it. There are many other alternatives and more tools coming out where they are specific aimed at helping you create AI influencers. It can be tools and software. There are a ton you can look for, but this is an easy way to get started, again a sense of it, where you can also get this free trial. And also in general, when you choose these tools, because there are a lot of them, just be careful, because some of them are really not great, but there are quite a few of them that also offer free trials. You can just go and search if you tried this and you think it has potential, but you want to try something else also. Just keep in mind to be critical and test it and look at it critically before just uploading it. But when you then have a finished video, then all you need to do then is, the last step here is to create accounts on the social media, for example on TikTok or Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want to be, and then upload it. But before doing that, there are a few important things you need to consider. So before jumping in, it's important to also think about the ethical side of AI influencers, because while the technology is definitely exciting and it's very impressive to see what it can already now do, and just think about what it can do in a few months or a few years, then it can also raise some real questions, of course. And there are also some legal concerns that we'll talk about after, but first the ethical considerations. And one thing is the transparency with your audience. People should know if they are engaging with an AI character, and not disclosing it, that can lead to trust issues or backlash or even policy violations. And you could also see the 3 examples I showed earlier. All of them actually made it clear in their bio that it was an AI or virtual influencer. So do not pretend to be real if you are not. I know some videos will say it doesn't matter and all that, but I think that is definitely a slippery slope that can just get you into trouble later, and it's just also unethical. Second, let's talk about authenticity versus deception, because the more realistic AI influencers become, you can just see this quick video that took me a couple of minutes to do a super short prompt, how real it actually looks. But that also means that it becomes easier for audiences to mistake them for real people, and this can definitely create, for example, unrealistic beauty beauty standards or set false expectations about lifestyles, relationships, or products. So that's something you of course also have to think about, in my opinion. So only participate and create in something you think that you can actually support. That's at least my approach and what I recommend. The third I want to talk about is respect for real people's likeness. And what do I then mean about that? That is that you should never base your AI influencers look too closely on a real person without consent, because especially public figures or models, that can lead to a lot of legal trouble or reputational damage. So don't try to make an AI influencer based on a person you have seen in real life. The last ethical concern I want to talk about is responsible content, because AI influencers, just like human influencers, they should avoid, of course, promoting unsafe products, misleading claims, or harmful behaviors. And since they are fully creator controlled, that means you actually have the power, but it also means you have the responsibility to choose what they represent. So that's some ethical concerns, but let's also talk about some policy and legal concerns you also need to do before going over a bonus tip about how you can actually tweak your prompts to make an even better AI influencer video. So every platform has its own stance on AI generated content, and if you're not careful, your account could actually get flagged or removed if you just upload it without thinking about this. So one thing is, for example, there can be disclosure requirements. Some platforms, like for example Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, they are moving towards requiring labels for synthetic or AI generated content. So if you don't label it, then it could hurt your reach or break rules. The second thing is to consider copyright issues. If your AI influencer uses designs or logos or even clothing patterns that are too similar to a real brand without permission, it could actually mean that you could get hit by a takedown. Third, there are also deepfake laws. So in some countries, synthetic likeness laws are getting stricter. So that means, especially for commercial use, you need to know what you can and cannot do. So this is worth looking into your local regulations before actually monetizing. The last policy concern I want to talk about is brand trust, because even if a platform doesn't remove you, some brands won't work with AI influencers if they feel audiences will see it as dishonest. So I assume that's also why these really big AI influencers I showed you, they actually are very transparent about them being AI influencers, and still they have a huge audience and make a lot of money. So building transparency from day one, that can avoid you losing future deals, and you can see it is actually possible to still get good deals even if you're completely transparent about it. Now you know some important things to consider before starting to create your first AI influencer. So let's now also get to the bonus tip I promised earlier, because it's a creative tip to make your AI influencer stand out and look more real. Because most people just describe the physical look in their AI prompts. You just saw I used just a superficial quick prompt, and many people are lazy and they just copy paste like that. So they just describe a hair color, an outfit, or background maybe. But the results are then often generic or perfect image kind of look that might look good, but it doesn't feel real or engaging. So instead, what can you then do? Well, you can add emotions, you can add information about the personality, you can add a backstory even into your prompts. So for example, instead of just writing a young woman in a red dress standing at a cafe, you could add more context. You could write young woman in a red dress, mid-laugh, while talking to a friend in a cozy cafe, warm lighting, eyes showing curiosity. This is just an example. You can be as creative and as precise you want. That's the beauty of using AI. And you can also use AI and ask it to help you perfect this. So you can also add information, for example, about the skin tone or anything else you want to be specific about. And these subtle details, they create images and videos that feel more authentic, which can boost engagement and make brands more interested in working with you. It's a small tweak, it takes a little bit of extra time, but it can make a big difference in how people connect with your content. And do not be afraid to just test this out. Learning to make the right AI prompts can take some practice, but it's a really great skill to have. In fact, it's a skill that is becoming more and more valuable no matter what you actually want to do. So learning AI prompting and becoming better at it and testing it in different ways is definitely something you should consider no matter what your future plans are when it comes to making money. So AI influencers isn't just a trend that is just quickly going away. They are actually a growing industry with real earning potential. So whether it's sponsored posts, affiliate marketing, product placements, subscriptions or merch, the monetization options are there if you build an audience and stay consistent. But just remember that success with AI influencers isn't just about making great looking content. It's also about being transparent and following, of course, the platform rules and creating a personality that people actually want to follow. If you do it with creativity and responsibility, you can tap into this opportunity and build something that lasts without getting caught up in hype or risk losing your account. And I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Is this something you want to do, or have you already done it? I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Also, if you have any questions, just ask in the comments and I'll make sure to get back to you. And if you like the video, then make sure to check out other videos here on my channel about different ways to make money online. And also give this video a like. I would appreciate that support. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.